Hey everybody, how you doing today? I hope you had a great weekend, and I'm looking forward to a holiday next week, at least here in the States. This weekend, I made a list of 20 things that I used to spend money on, but I no longer do. A lot of it had to do with the pandemic and being in isolation, so you don't go out and spend money on things. But after about a year, you begin to figure out that you really didn't need them anyway. And it's like, I want to give you my list. This is just for me. What you do personally, that's your business. But the first thing on my list was purses. I used to love shopping for purses. And I had maybe 15 or 20 sitting in the closet. And you know what? There was always one or two that I used all the time. So I cleaned out all that stuff. And now I have two purses. One that I use every day. And the other one is for if I need something smaller. There are certain places you shop where they don't like you carrying a big purse. So when one wears out, I replace it and throw it away. And it's like I have purses that will go with anything because I'm not fancy. So the next thing on my list was shoes. I was kind of the same way with shoes. I had like a thing about shoes. I wouldn't go buy a pair of sandals. I'd go buy four. And, that was ridiculous. Or I like that color of tennis shoe because really all I wear is sandals, tennis shoes, and maybe flip flops. So I went through. I now own one pair of ballet flats because I'm old, I can't wear heels anymore. And that's for if I need something nice. And the rest of my shoes, I have two pair of flip-flops because every so often they'll blow out. And I have two pair of sandals, one dark, one light. And I have three pair of shoes. Now, I do not go cheap on shoes. I love Brooks. So I've got two newer pair that I will wear till they wore out. And then I have a pair that is wore out, but I use it for working in the yard and things like that, where I don't want to get my newer shoes messed up. And I found that not only do I have more room in my closet, I've got a little extra money to spend. Now, another thing is I used to love to go shopping for clothes, and I would come home with bags and bags. And not cheap clothes, you know. And I found that in my older years, retired, I'm more likely to stick with t-shirts and pants, shorts, whatever. So, I don't even own a dress. The last time I wore a dress was in 2008 for my mother's funeral. And since then, I don't even own a dress. So, not a skirt, not a dress. I wear, pretty much all just casual clothes. I don't go anywhere fancy. I don't live in a fancy place. There's no big city to, I just don't get impressed. I live in a vacation destination, so people are pretty casual around here. Now, jewelry. I love jewelry. I especially love earrings. But I used to spend a lot more on good jewelry, and to be honest, I have plenty. Some of it I've already given to my granddaughter for when she gets a little older. Others I keep because I, do want to have nice jewelry if I want to put on, something a little nicer. Because I do have, nice pants and shirts and stuff that I can wear if I don't just want to wear the casual. Now, cable TV. I know everybody and their brother got rid of cable TV. What I've found is we use the cable company for our internet. We got great internet. And that's way more important than cable TV. And now for $139 a year, we have Amazon Prime. And I have a couple of subscriptions to channels that we particularly like, instead of having 100 channels with nothing on. And I found that rather than spending, $75, $80 a month, I'm spending, maybe 25 to 30 on subscriptions. Another thing I cut back on is I use a Keurig because, I try to limit the amount of coffee I drink. And if I make a whole pot, yeah, I'll drink it. So we no longer use coffee pods that are, with coffee. I have disposable pods. We refill them every night so they're ready in the morning, and I have several bottles of sugar-free coffee syrup in my cabinet. I buy sugar-free creamer so I can have as fancy or plain as I want and flavored any way I want. And I'm not spending, anywhere from $5 to $12 for a box of coffee pods that might last a week. Now, books. I'm a reader. I love to read. And I used to go to like Borders or Barnes and Noble, and I could spend a couple of $100 on books because I generally read anywhere from 2 to 4 books a week. Now, I have the Kindle now, and first off, I read a lot of free books. And then Kindle has a borrowing library where you can just borrow books if you belong to Prime. And anything I buy, I very seldom pay more than $3.99 for a book. And I was paying anywhere from $5.99 on up for just the paperbacks. So I save a lot of money, plus I don't have stacks of books around my house taking up room that don't need to be took up. That was bad. But, my other thing is CDs and DVDs. We had libraries. And I mean, that was even if you got rid of all the VHS that we started out with. But, we don't use them anymore. I don't even have a CD player hooked up to my TV. I don't have a disk drive on my laptop. So why would I spend the money on it? We stream what we want. And if there is something special on occasion, we buy it and put it in our digital library. I don't need to buy music. I can get all kinds of music online for free. So the next thing is car payments. We have 2 cars. One of them used to be my car, but when we bought a new one, my husband started driving it. He uses it for his work car. Now he only works like 4 miles from here, so it doesn't get a lot of miles, and it's a 2003. Now I have a 2011 Dodge Journey, both were bought new, both were paid for. I just pay the insurance and put gas in the gas tank, keep it maintained. We're good to go. We don't have a car payment in sight, and I don't intend to have one at least for several more years. We used to eat out almost every week, sometimes twice a week. And the pandemic changed all that. We started, for a long time, we didn't go out at all. And now, if we do, it's once a month. Because I prefer what I cook myself. It's like, yes, groceries are expensive. But the last time that we went to Whataburger, we spent like $25 on fast food for 2 fast food meals. And that's just, I could make a lot of hamburgers for $25. I used to wear pantyhose. They were expensive when you come right down to it. But why? I don't have a dress. The last time I wore pantyhose was in 2008 when the last time I wore a dress. So I spend no money on that kind of stuff anymore. And even if I were going to wear a dress, I wouldn't wear pantyhose. I swore I would never wear them again, ever. Now, the 12th thing, we used to both be heavy smokers. And we both quit in 2014 when we retired and moved down here to the coast. So I can't even imagine the amount of money we save not smoking. So if there's one place where you can save money big, that's going to be it. Neither one of us really drink. My husband might have a beer once in a while if we go out for Mexican food but neither one of us drink. I have like 10-year-old vodka down there, and I really need to throw it out because it just takes up space. And as you get older and you're taking more medications, you really shouldn't be drinking anyway. Because I can hammer back some margaritas. Oh, let me tell you. I could put some margaritas away. The 14th thing is we used to go to a lot of concerts and movies, and we lost our movie theater here in town back in 2017 when Harvey came through and ripped the roof off. So we don't have a theater here in town, and the closest place to go for a concert is Corpus, which is really, it's not worth it anymore. We used to, when we lived up in Illinois, we used to drive over to St. Louis and go to the amphitheater there, and I can't think of anybody I haven't seen that I want to. So that's a lot of money, because we would go to outdoor concerts, probably 4 or 5 times throughout the summer. Personally, I used to go and get fingernails. Now I don't need them. They were a pain in the ass. Let me tell you, every time I would try to do something with my hands, I'd wind up poking the pie crust or getting stuff under them, and I couldn't stand that. But I had them for several years, and I'm glad that's something that is gone away. Along with that, there's the hair color. I colored my hair for years. I think I was probably 16 when my first gray hair started coming in. Now I have my grandmother's silver hair, which Doesn't bother me at all, and it is such a relief not to have to worry about my roots or, of course now it's in style to let your roots show, but I don't worry about it. I went natural and I've never regretted it. It's like I can only pretend I'm not 68 years old for so many days. Soda. I used to drink soda. My husband still does, but not like he used to. First off, it's really not good for you. And carbonation tends to make my stomach do weird things like make noises for 6 hours. It'll just like all for like hours. I can remember one night I had a soda and we were getting ready to go out to eat. Now, this is some years ago. And I was sitting at the table and my stomach kept making these noises. I was miserable. My husband was trying to burp me. It's like, okay, this is enough of that. I don't need this. There's times when I would love to have a Mexican Coke because Mexican Coke is made with real sugar and not corn syrup, and it tastes like Coke used to taste. But I stay away from it. Yeah, that's just not cool. Now, before the pandemic, I used to belong to a gym, and I would go. But once the pandemic hit and everything shut down, it was a long time before I felt comfortable going back. And so during that time, I bought an exercise bike. I bought resistance bands and hand weights. I have plenty of room to walk around my neighborhood. So I no longer pay for a gym membership. Now, going back to clothes, I used to wear jeans all the time jeans. Well, jeans can get expensive when you like nice ones. And now I'm pretty much yoga pant and lounging pant person. I wear, shorts, capris, long pants, whatever. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going line dancing. So, the days of the anywhere from $50 to $100 for a pair of jeans, that's gone. And the last thing, number 20, is I quit buying useless gifts. When it's Christmas time and you want to have something for everyone, so you buy things that maybe they don't need, they don't want. If they wanted it, they'd go buy it. And I have two sons that, yeah, they have better jobs than we ever had and can afford big houses and new cars and all that stuff. So they don't need whatever I might think that they need. And a lot of times you buy something for someone and then you never see it again. So the only person I really shop for anymore, especially Christmas and birthdays, is I have a 7-year-old granddaughter, and I love buying for her. She gets spoiled because I do have fun shopping in the toy department and buying all the dolls that I used to love when I was a kid. And she's a girly girl, so, it's fun to shop for her. That was 20 things. However, there's one more. This is a bonus. When I go to the store, I only go in the morning. And the reason I go in the morning is because where I shop, and it's also where my husband works, but every morning they come through and throw a 25% off sticker on all of the meat that is tagged to be sold today. So every day it's different stuff, but there's always a lot. And if you don't go before noon, at noon they go through and take them all out and trash them. So pretty much all the meat I buy for 25% off. I throw it in my freezer, and I have yet to have anything that was not good. So that's basically how we're surviving the inflation we're going through right now, the pandemic, just all this stuff. And you got to understand that we basically are retired. Yes, my husband works at the grocery store now, but he's a retired truck driver. And we used to have a lot more money than we do now. We basically live on between 30 and 35,000 a year. Well, that's not a lot in this day and age. But because of all the things I've done to stop, I'm now able to say, I want to go up to Minneapolis to visit my son. And when I go, I want to stop in St. Louis and visit my other son. There's not a time when I can't afford a plane ticket. And when we were making twice what we make now, I couldn't afford it because we were spending, a couple of grand on housing and car payment. Well, not car payments, that was extra, but housing and utilities and that kind of thing. Yes, groceries were cheaper, but at one point we had 2 car payments. So, you take all that away and all of a sudden you have money because we now live in an RV and it's paid for. So all we have to pay is the lot rent, and the water is included. The electric is, I don't even remember how much a kilowatt hour it is, but it runs us probably average $100 a month for, our electricity. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's $40 or $50, depending upon the temperature and the time of year, because this is Texas and we are getting into the hot season. So that's how we've survived. And it's like, if you have any other ideas, just simple little things, it doesn't have to be anything major. But if you have other ideas, let me know down in the comments. And if you would like to like and subscribe, that would be great too. Because I'm trying to get this thing going and I'm trying to learn how to do all this stuff. I still don't know how to edit, so you're getting this straight into the computer. I'm learning how to make thumbnails. So, if you have anything you want to share, let me know and I'll share it on another video. So y'all have a great day and keep your chin up. Thanks.